Hi and welcome everyone to another video on my channel. My name is Denis and today I'm gonna show you my Gaming 36 preview where we'll be talking about a lot of stuff. And as usual, if you enjoy this type of content, please consider leaving a like, hit that subscribe button if you're new, but now let's get into it. Okay, so now real short before moving forward, I just wanted to present you something that maybe a lot of people know already. The latest news is that we're not gonna have any more double gamings this season. If before there was still a little chance that we could have a double gaming in Gaming 36 for Aston Villa and Tottenham, now pretty much the chances are zero. As you can see from the screen, this is a post from Ben Krenin, who also is pretty much right all the time about the schedule. As you may know, Spurs asked the Premier League to have their game moved. Now, as you can see, the game is going to be moved, but has been brought forward to the Friday night. So it will stay in Gaming 37. As you can see from the screen, we already have a game in that Friday, Manchester United Chelsea. So this game is going to remain in Gaming 37. So it's not going to be moved in Gaming 36, and we're not gonna have any more double gamings this season, as you can see from the screen, unless something unexpected really causes a postponement. So I really don't think that's going to be the case. But now let's move to see the best players to target for Gaming 36. Okay, so now moving forward, you're going to see two sets of players I picked. You can call this whatever you want, my watch list, my top transfer picks. I tried to pick some good players who I think that are good also for Gaming 36 and also pretty much until the end of the season. So I tried to use this also for my own strategy until the end of the season. So as you can see from the screen, I picked some players from Brentford, so there are no surprises. A lot of people are interested in buying players from Brentford. The fixtures are great until the end of the season, but more importantly, the fixture run starts now in Gaming 36. As you can see, they are going to play against Ipswich away, so there isn't any surprise that I picked some players from them. Now, I'm gonna be really straightforward to you. The best picks from Brentford, I think that are Wissa and Beumo. Everyone knows pretty much that. If you want to go a little bit different, if you don't have the money, let's say, to upgrade someone like Murphy to Mbeumo, you could take a look at someone like Shad. He has good minutes at the moment. He scored a lot of points in Gaming 35, but he's a really good pick if you want to take a punt, if you want to go a little bit different. And also, if you really want to use your transfers, your really few transfers until the end of the season on defenders or on goalkeepers, I think that Flecken also could be a nice option. But as you may know, uh, I don't know, we have just 3 game weeks left, so I would like to target the midfielders, the attackers firstly. But obviously, if a transfer makes sense to you, you shouldn't consider it bad just because you're going to buy a goalkeeper. But in my case, usually I don't really like to use one of my 3 transfers until the end of the season on buying a goalkeeper. But yeah, Flecken could be a decent option. Now we have 2 players from Wolverhampton. I don't think that you should target a lot of players from them. The fixture run is okay. Now, obviously, if I was to pick for Gaming 36, I would pick someone like Wissa instead of someone like Cunha. Totally depends. If you have those players in your team, obviously just keep them. They are really good players until the end of the season. It's not worth to make the switch, maybe Cunha to Wissa, so I'm not suggesting that. But yeah, I think that Wissa is a better pick than Cunha at the moment. I think that Cunha is going to get good minutes. The fixtures are okay until the end of the season. The same for Ainery. Again, if you want to buy a defender, he's the most attacking defender from Wolverhampton and one of the most attacking defenders in the Premier League at the moment. So I could see some clean sheets from Wolverhampton now. Not 3 clean sheets, to be honest with you, but you have Ainery pretty much for also for his attacking potential. So I think that those two are good options. There are other options from Wolverhampton if you want someone like Munetsi, someone like Bellegarde, but I just think that these two are the best ones. And again, we have so few transfers until Gaming 38, so you pretty much need to pick 2, 3, 4 players who you plan to buy in these gamings. Now, if we move Again, as you can see, Bowen, Kudus from West Ham. The fixtures are okay. If I try to compare, if you're asking me who would I buy for Gaming 36 between Mbeumo and Bowen, obviously I would just pick Mbeumo. He's on penalties, on set pieces. He has the better fixture against Ipswich away, as you can see. Now, obviously, Bowen doesn't have a bad fixture against Manchester United away, but it's still a harder fixture than Mbeumo's. But yeah, if you're asking me, maybe in Gaming 37, maybe Bone is the player to buy. But yeah, you understood my point. Now, if you really want to go a little bit different, I think that Kudus could be an option. You could buy someone like Areola, Wan-Bissaka if you really want to buy some defenders. But honestly, I just think that there are better picks elsewhere. So I would try to resume myself to Bowen and Kudus, and obviously I think that the better pick is Bowen. Now if we move to the second set of players, as you can see from the screen, here we have some players from Nottingham Forest, Manchester City and one from Aston Villa. Now obviously I don't really need to talk too much about them. You know that Nottingham Forest have really good fixtures until the end of the season. Now in Gaming 38 I don't really like the fixture because it's against Chelsea. That's going to be a really interesting game if both teams are going to be involved in the fight for the Champions League spots. But as you can see, again, in Gaming 36, as I said before, if you're asking me one forward to buy between Cunha, Wood, and Wisa, uh, it would be between Wood and Wisa, and that's because they have the better fixture in Gaming 36. Now, Leicester at home for Wood, I think that he's a great option. He's going to be a great captaincy option. Also, if you're brave enough, he's on penalties. He's the best pick from Nottingham Forest. I know that he blanked in the last three game weeks. I think his underlying statistics weren't great all season. And at the moment, if you're asking me personally, I prefer someone like Wisa, but that's just me. And I don't think that's anything wrong if you prefer someone like Wood. The fixture is better against Leicester at home. Now, the fixtures both are great, but I would take the fixture at home for Chris Wood. So, yeah, I think that he's a great buy if you want to sell someone like Isak, maybe if you don't want to keep Mateta, yeah, Wood, Wisa, Cunha, these are pretty much the players you're going for. And if we remain at Nottingham Forest, as you can see, we know that they are a good defense. The fixtures are okay, at least for the next two for clean sheets. So Milenkovic, I think that he's the best pick if you want to buy a defender from Nottingham Forest. I'm really tempted myself, honestly, to buy a defender for Gaming 36 because the feature is just great. Milenkovic has a lot of attacking threat. Leicester are conceded a lot of chances from set pieces, and we know that if some crosses are going to get in that box to Milenkovic, he has a great chance to score. So I think that he's the best one. Obviously, he's the most expensive defender, I think, from Nottingham Forest. If you don't have the funds, I think that Nico Williams, again, at that price, he's a really great option. And if you want to take a punt again, Elanga is not a player for everyone. Let me just say it like that. So he's not getting 90 minutes every game week. You're not going to be sure if he's going to start all the games. But yeah, it's between Elanga, Gibbs White. If you want to go safe, obviously you're picking Gibbs White. He's on set pieces. But if you wanna, if you're like me, if you like a more explosive player with more upside, I think that Elanga could be the one for you. But again, if you wanna go different, if you wanna take a punt, be prepared for Elanga to not start every game week and to be a risk. So yeah, it is what it is. Now, if we move to Manchester City, a lot of people, obviously, I've not included Marmoush here because I think that a lot of people have him, and I think that you should keep him if you have him at least for Gaming 36. The fixture is great against Southampton away, and we're gonna discuss a little bit. Let's just jump straight to Haaland then, because as you can see, I put a question mark there because we don't know at the moment. He's not even guaranteed to start against Southampton away, so that's why I put the question mark. And obviously, if Pep Guardiola, let's say, is going to say that Haaland is ready to start for Gaming 36 against Southampton, then yes, I would consider maybe buying him. But at the moment, no. And I think that Marmoush is a keep for Gaming 36, definitely. And Guardiola, again, a lot of people have him. If you don't, I think that he's a great option. I think that he's the best defender from Manchester City. maybe he's going to play also a more attacking role in the next few game weeks. And the most interesting one is Kevin De Bruyne, because a lot of people, I don't know, maybe have Mohamed Salah and maybe they just don't want to keep him. Kevin De Bruyne could be a great option. If you want to sell Saka, again, he could be a great option. If you want to sell Palmer, uh, the thing is, it's his final season for Manchester City now. I don't think that we have a guarantee that De Bruyne is going to start all the games. I think that he's going to start in gaming 36 against Southampton away, and that's actually a really good fixture, even if he's not going to start the next two. But before gaming 37, Manchester City are going to play against Crystal Palace in the FA Cup final, so that's the problem. I don't know if Kevin De Bruyne is gonna start in gaming 37, but no one can guarantee you that. And I think that honestly he's a great option. Congrats to everyone who bought him in gaming 35. Also for them who captain him, I think that he's a good option if you want to go different, if you're chasing. So yeah, not too much to say about that. It's a risk, but you're taking the risk, right? So from Aston Villa, you could pick other players if you want. You can go for someone like Rogers. You could buy someone like Konsa, Martinez if you want to be safe. Now the fixtures for Aston Villa are pretty good. That's why I picked Watkins on this list, and also he's a really easy replacement for someone like Isak. And I just saw that a lot of people are thinking of selling Isak. Now again, I don't think that that's nothing. There's nothing wrong with keeping Isak. I think that he's also a good option to keep. But if you want to go different, Watkins is probably the player you want to go. The fixtures are great. Rashford is out probably until the end of the season. So yeah, I think that he is a great pick. Okay, so now for the last part, we're going to see some questions who I think that are going to be a little bit interesting to some people at least, because to be honest with you, I try to ask myself these questions for my own team to try to see if I can answer them. And yeah, hopefully those are going to be interesting for some of you. Now, if we start with the first one, should I take hits if I'm chasing? Again, I'm asking myself the same question. I have a really good rank, as you can see from the screen, 1k.6 at the moment. And I'm asking myself, is it worth it to take the risk? Now, obviously, maybe it's a little bit different at my rank, because if you're taking a -4, you could go really down. But usually it really depends on your playing style, how able you are to not let those decisions, if they are going to go wrong, ruin your day basically. So it's really depending on your style. Now usually I wouldn't recommend taking a lot of hits in the final stages of the season, because as you may know, if you're taking a hit at the start of the season, those hits have more chances to be worth it in the next few gamings, but we have at the moment just 3 gamings to go. So if you're going to take a hits, those players need to be really important and really good for them to pay off. So it's really depending. And also if you're chasing, it really depends from which rank you're chasing. Maybe you're chasing in a mini league, you're 20 points behind. Let's just say if you're 50k at the moment, and if your goal is to get 10k, you need to take some hits. Yeah, of course, you need to take some risk, but you need to be also prepared for those hits to go really wrong, and maybe to drop to 70 80k or something like that. But it really depends how big is the gap you want to cover. Now obviously if you're behind your I don't know, friend in a mini league with 10 20 30 points, that's not an impossible amount to recover. Maybe 30 it is a little bit hard to do, but you don't need to go super different to do that. For an example, if the first place in your mini league has someone like Isak, and you think that he's going to keep him, if you're just selling Isak to someone like Watkins, you're taking a minimal risk. You're not taking a hit, and you could gain a lot of points even without taking hits, even without going super differential. So hopefully you understood my explanation. I know that I'm not explaining too good at the moment. Now if we move to the second pick, I saw a lot of people asking me about this, when it is the best time to use your triple captain. So if you have other chips left, obviously you need to use them as fast as possible, because we have just 3 game weeks left. But about the triple captain, I think that if you want to go safe, if you have other chips, if you want to get it out of the way, just use it in Gaming 36. I think that we have some good players to pick. Mbeumo against Ipswich, Chris Wood against Leicester, Marmoush against Southampton, Haaland, if somehow he's going to be fit, against Southampton, Kevin De Bruyne could be a great option. So I think that it is okay to use it in Gaming 36. Now, if I was in this position, I would be really tempted to wait for Gaming 38 and use it on Bukayo Saka, for example, against Southampton away, but it's nothing wrong to use it in Gaming 36. And also in Gaming 38, you could also use it on Mohamed Salah against Crystal Palace at home. Um, yeah, they are playing at home in front of their fans, but the downside here, the negative part, is that you don't know what's gonna happen if Bukayo Saka is just going to get injured before Gaming 38, and let's say Mohamed Salah is not going to start in Gaming 38. So yeah, probably the best advice would be to just use it in Gaming 36. In Gaming 37, there aren't a lot of good options for the captaincy from what I saw, but yeah. To the third question, time to sell my Arsenal, Liverpool, Crystal Palace players. You could include here also Newcastle. Now, the short answer is yes, maybe slowly, but not so sure about that, because if you're talking about someone like Saliba from Arsenal, if you don't have Guardiola, that's an easy switch. He's a lot of money. I understand if you want to sell him. The fixtures are not great for Arsenal in the next two. Uh, and yeah, and he is a lot of budget in your team, obviously. But if you're talking about a goalkeeper, maybe Raya, I don't really, I'm not really so enjoying selling a goalkeeper. So maybe you could keep Raya, someone like Kivier, who maybe you could bench for the next two and just playing Gaming 38 against Southampton. So you got my point. Again, someone like Bukayo Saka, I think that definitely you should keep him if you have him at the moment. Against Liverpool in Gaming 36 is not a great fixture, but I think that Bukayo Saka is going to play in the last three gamings of the season. Newcastle, Southampton, I would just keep him. Now with Liverpool, again, if you have someone like Salah, I think that the sensible decision is to just keep him, because he's going to play probably 90 minutes every game still, although Liverpool won the Premier League. But if you have other players, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Luis Diaz, Gakpo, yeah, I think that you should just sell them, because there's going to be some rotation in that Liverpool side. With Palace, it's a little bit more tricky because they have a good fixture in Gaming 36 against Tottenham, so I would just give them one more game week. In Gaming 37, it's gonna be even more trickier because, as I said before, they are going to play in the FA Cup final. We don't know if they are going to start all of our FPL assets, Mateta, Eze, Sar, Munoz in Gaming 37, so there could be some risk, but for Gaming 36, I would keep them. And if you're talking about Newcastle, as I said before, I think that's nothing. There's nothing wrong with keeping Isak. Now, obviously, if you want to sell, I wouldn't buy them. Obviously, if you want to sell someone like Murphy, Barnes, Gordon, I think that's perfectly fine to buy players like Mbeumo, Bowen. Is it too early to buy Haaland? Now, I talked a little bit about this question, to be honest with you. So, from my point of view, I think that it is a little bit too early, depending on what Pep Guardiola is going to say in the press conference. But again, if he's just going to say that Haaland is ready to start in Gaming 36 against Southampton, that really doesn't mean that he's going to start, because as you may know, after that they're going to play in the final. Haaland probably is going to play in the FA Cup final, if you ask me. So I think that it is a little bit too early to buy him, and also it's not that easy to buy Haaland. So if that involves a -4, definitely I wouldn't do that. Although I understand that the fixture is great, he could be a great differential captain, but for me at the moment it's not. It's too early, pretty much. And a little bit about the best captain for Gaming 36. As I said before, probably the popular ones are going to be Marmoush, Mbeumo, and Chris Wood. They have great fixtures against Leicester, Ipswich, and Southampton. So yeah, that's why they are probably the best captaincy option. Now, if you want to go different, someone like Bowen, If you want to go for someone like Kevin De Bruyne, he could be also a great captaincy option, maybe even better than Marmoush at the moment. He's getting a lot of minutes, he's on set pieces. He could be on penalties also, Kevin De Bruyne. We don't know that. It is his last season at Manchester City. So at the moment, currently, in my team, I'm leaning towards Mbeumo as the best captaincy pick. But obviously, all of them are really good. Um, Wood is on penalties also against Leicester at home. He has the better fixture. With Marmoush, I think that the news about Haaland and also Kevin De Bruyne playing so many minutes diminishes his appeal a little bit, but he's still playing against Southampton away. He could be on penalties, but that's why at the moment I'm not leaning towards him, because if I was sure Marmoush was going to play 90 minutes as a striker, on penalties, maybe he could be the best pick. But yeah, let's see what we're gonna find in the press conferences and then decide. That was it. This was my gaming preview for Gaming 36 and also until the end of the season. Thank you so much. If you're still watching, please consider leaving a like. Hit that subscribe button if you're new. I really appreciate it, and I thank you again a lot. It means so much to me. And yeah, I'm gonna see you next time. Bye.